Hello, everybody. I am Patty DeRito. I am the founder and owner of Holistic Healing Atlanta. Holistic Healing Atlanta is a place where we address the physical through nutrition, exercise, and sleep, the emotional, why we do what we do, and addressing any kind of trauma that might have occurred in the past, and then the spirituality of each person. Each person is unique, so we use programs specific to each person. It's not a one-size-fits-all. I have found personally by incorporating all these aspects into my life, I feel better and I'm a better person. I also want to encourage you, just changing the subject a little bit, I put out a newsletter today for October. And if you haven't gotten it, please contact me and to read it. If you have any comments or questions, or during this program, you can put it into the chat box as well. So I've always been an active person in sports and fitness. As a kid, I played sports year-round. I went to the University of Hartford in Connecticut on an athletic scholarship, and I played volleyball and softball. After college, I thought, what can I do to challenge myself? So I started running. So I ran a lot of 5K, 10Ks. I also ran a marathon and a triathlon. But when we moved to Atlanta a little bit more than 20 years ago, my neck was hurting, and so I really couldn't run so well. And so a friend brought me to a jazzercise class. Now, the one thing that, and I actually didn't really like jazzercise at first because it wasn't, I liked being outside, I liked being quiet, but I quickly fell in love with the program, and it really taught me how to have good form and technique to avoid injury. Now, I'm a pretty good dancer, but the strength part where you use weights and things, so that was great. So what is the benefit of exercise for our body, our mind, and our soul? And what does exercise do for mental health? And is it true that exercise is as effective as Prozac? And what if I don't even like exercise? How do I start? So tonight I have a very special guest. The title is Fitness, a Way of Life, not just for our bodies, but for our mind and our soul. And our guest speaker is Crystal Ramhorst. Crystal is a jazzercise instructor and franchise owner here in Peachtree Corners, Georgia. She has been certified as a jazzercise instructor for over 30 years. And I say the jazzercise instructors are really good because they have to have training and they teach you about all the body parts and what they do. And they really incorporate that into the programming. Anyway, she took her first class in Stuttgart, Germany in 1987 and fell in love with the program for its effectiveness through a variety of movements and music. Through her relocation, first to New Jersey and then to Georgia, Crystal has helped many people of all ages and fitness level to enjoy the joy of exercise. She loves teaching the classes with form and technique being her emphasis. The strength portion, which is the weights and the abs and abductors and things like that, is her favorite, and she's never enjoyed working out in a gym. So as you can imagine, Crystal has met many people throughout her work, and meeting people is a bonus of her job. She also likes to have social events with her customers to help them feel a part of the community and have fun. So Crystal also is a therapy tech for 9 years at an upper extremity rehabilitation facility. She enjoys being outside, whether it's gardening, walking the dog, or reading. Crystal also stays busy, keeping in touch with her large extended family and volunteering at church. So please welcome Crystal. Hi, Crystal.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming and taking time out to talk. So I'm not really here to talk specifically about jazzercise, although I think it's a solid program and it's been in existence for over 50 years, which is impressive. But I was just wondering, I know what you do, but what does exercise do for you, Crystal?
Oh, well, exercise helps me. Main thing actually is to relieve stress. And especially now with the pandemic and everything, it is a way that I just let it all out. It also helps me make sure that I spend time on me. And, as females, we don't always do that. This is a way that I can ensure that I'm the only one that's going to go exercise. Nobody's coming with me.
That's great. So one of the things that I like to talk to people about, like some of the benefits of exercise, And first, foremost, a lot of people exercise for weight management. And have you seen people come to exercise and lose the weight that they want? The success stories?
Yes, exactly. Actually, I am one of those success stories. When I started Jazzercise, I was overweight. I had been active through high school. I had been downhill during college, quit all the sports and just put on the weight because I didn't watch what I ate. So when I started Jazzercise, yes, I lost about 46 pounds
Oh my
and
God.
have kept it off the whole time. And it was just by doing Jazzercise.
I had no idea, Crystal.
Yeah, didn't share that part with you. Yes.
No.
And I have had customers, of course, that have, were looking for an exercise program for the main thing of weight loss.
Mhm.
So, a lot of people, the best way, of course, is to tie it in with your eating, but there have been people that just through exercise, you got to start somewhere and you just exercise and you burning more calories than you take in, it comes off.
Right. So also exercise is good for bone and muscle health because, and as women, we tend to lose bone density. It's also good for physical pain, which is interesting because people will say with arthritis, think, well, it hurts to move, but it is just the opposite of by moving our joints, it actually is helping us.
Yes,
So,
exactly. Our bodies are meant to move and have physical activity. And the more movement that you can do, usually the less physical pain you're going to experience.
right. And it also helps with like health conditions. So it helps our heart, it helps our lungs, it helps our detox because we're sweating. And as you said, also the release the tension and the stress. But being a licensed professional counselor first, I know what it does for the anxiety and the depression. And I had gone through my own depression. And I mean, I was like in bed with the blankets over my head, but I did exercise. And that was my one like fun. I went to jazzercise actually, and it was my one fun hour of the day that it helped me from sort of going more out over the edge. So I
Right.
didn't know.
Yeah, the mental health benefits are just as much there as the physical aspect of what your body can look like and how strong you can be. But keeping the brain active, it can help decrease with, incidence of Alzheimer's and dementia because it gets blood flow through the brain, keeps the blood flowing through the brain to keep everything open. So yes, helps with the mental part just as much.
Absolutely. I know like the stress, my stress level goes up. And sometimes my husband would say, do you need to go exercise? I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, mine does the same. He's like, I think you need to go.
right. And, I think it also helps memory because of the brain and also sleeping better. When people are exercising and moving, they tend to sleep better.
Yes, exactly.
So, Crystal, what do you say to people when they say, well, I just don't like to exercise? I hear that
Yeah,
a lot.
yes, exactly. A lot of people say that I don't like to exercise. You need to find something that you enjoy. There are many forms of exercise. Gardening is exercise. Of course, you're not going to get your heart rate way up, but it's exercise.
Mhm.
Um, just taking a walk with a friend, that is exercise. Of course, the faster you walk, the more you're going to get the heart benefits, but it has to be something that you enjoy. Maybe it's just taking your dog to a dog park or running with your dog. Maybe it's playing with your grandkids in the backyard, but in some way your body needs to be moving to get the heart rate up a little bit. You can dance in your living room, put on some music that you like and just have your own little dance party.
I love it. I love it. And how does someone find the program because I tell people, you know what, if you don't like running, then find something you love, and
Yes.
but how do you help someone? What would you suggest to find the program that they might feel right for them?
Yes, there's all kinds of exercise programs out there. Some people like to exercise by themselves. You had mentioned that, you liked doing the individual thing. So maybe it is running so you can take in everything that's outside. Some people, of course, enjoy going to the gym and working out on the machines. There's also, you can find, a trainer that you can either go to them or they come to you and they address your specific needs and help you out that way. Um, try all kinds of things. Parks and Rec have exercise classes, different community schools and everything. There are so many ways that you can exercise. Just do a Google search for exercise in your area and see what comes up, and check it out. You can also find things online. There's always programs that you can follow online too.
One of the things that I was talking to my sister, who's a physical therapist assistant, and she said, be careful with personal trainers, because they can just go down and take a weekend course and now they're certified. And my own PT, when I had shoulder surgery, said that they see more people in for PT because a personal trainer had them working too hard for themselves. And that's one thing that I really appreciated about Jazzercise, is that the instructors teach us good form. And so we're not doing stupid things with our body. We're not like jerking our arms up, or that you're very careful about that. And I really appreciate, because I've gone to other fitness classes and I see people with awful form and I'm like, they haven't been to Jazzercise.
Yes, we have training, and it's always ongoing on the proper technique and how to explain modifications, how to do modifications for people, our customers to see, because yes, tuning in, some people have shoulder injuries. They're not going to look the same as someone that doesn't, and the main thing is to know what your body can do and don't push it to the pain. It's supposed to be fun. You're going to feel it, but you shouldn't have pain when you're doing something. Right. Something's wrong then. Right.
Yeah. So what can a person do if they're out of shape, or like in you? I mean, you started, and they might be overweight and they don't know where to start, or maybe they're just embarrassed to show up into class because they think everybody's these perfect bodies.
Right. Yes. You can start by walking around your block and then go for a little further each time. That's why now the online classes are so great. You can do them in your home. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's going to look and see what you're looking like until you get your confidence a little bit better. And you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing now. I'm comfortable with it. And then you could go join into a group class or something. But it's all about what each person finds for themselves and what is enjoyable and everything. And like I said, just walking is a wonderful form of exercise, especially just to start with, to get your body used to moving.
Right. I think, with COVID, as you said, there is a ton of free stuff online, and then it's always free. And we were lucky that we could in Georgia walk during COVID. When all the gyms shut down, I walked with my neighbor a lot of miles. Just to do something, to get outside and to exercise. And
yeah, a lot of people did. A lot of my customers were like, yeah, we did a class in the morning, and then we would go walk, because as you said, in Georgia, it was really lucky that we could do that. And so many people like poo-poo walking. No, walking is excellent.
Yeah. So let me also just ask, is somebody too old to ever start?
No, never too old to start. You can sit in a chair. You can do, put on your music, do your arms and legs moving in a chair, so you don't have to have that impact or anything. Swimming, just being in the water, walking in water, if you're a person who enjoys water, because it gives you the natural resistance. There's not an age where you say, I'm too old, I can't exercise. Yeah, I don't agree with that one.
Yeah, it was just interesting at Jazzercise. There's a couple of women who have very limited physical, with a disability or elderly, and they're my heroes, because here they are, and they might sit in a chair and do the arms, but they're doing it. I love it. I want to be that person.
Yeah, exactly. I say I'm gonna do it in my wheelchair.
So very cool. So what kind of if you were just saying to somebody, what kind of exercises would you recommend, in a variety of ways? Because there's the aerobic, and then there's weights, and then there's other kinds of things. Personally, I do a lot of different things, and so I don't do any one thing anymore. I I swim a day, I might do an aerobics class, I might do weights one day, I might walk one day. But how do you recommend people mixing up their workouts?
Yeah, mixing it up is really good. It gets your brain thinking in different ways. It gets your body moving in different ways. So you're a wonderful example of, yeah, doing the swimming, maybe doing some weights, doing some cardio classes and everything. It's and that's what everybody's personal thing is. Your body does get used to what you do, so it is good to mix it up, different types. Maybe you only like to do classes, which is fine, but the classes need to make sure they're incorporating all different kinds of moves. You're not just skipping, jumping, and doing bicep curls. It needs to have all the different things in there so that you're working all the different parts of the body at various times.
Right, right. I don't swim every day because my shoulders would start bothering me. And so even when I might do the freestyle, but I change it up after 10 laps, say, and do 4 breaststroke or something because I don't want to overuse my shoulders.
Yeah.
So,
And that also, when you're doing different things, you're going to, lessen your chance of injuring something because you're working out different parts. And if you're doing a workout at home of your own, of just putting music and doing weights, you need to mix it up. One day you might focus on upper torso, the next day you're going to do, legs, and do different things like that.
yeah, yeah, I think it's really important to mix up. Um, Why should people use weights? So this is something that I always kind of hated at first about jazzercise, doing the weight stuff and like going to gym. And it comes back to when I was in college as a softball player. We had to go in the weight room and do weights, and I hated it. I was traumatized. But why is it important, especially for us women, to do weights and then even weight bearing exercises? Why is that important?
Yes, we need to stave off osteopenia, osteoporosis. Where as women and as you get older, our bones just start to, lose all their calcium and everything. Using weights gives that natural resistance to build back up the bone so that it's, stronger. Part of the thing is, as we get older, is falling. If you're doing weight bearing exercise, and that can be walking, something, doesn't have to be the weights, to reduce your chance of, breaking your hip, or when you fall, actually breaking a bone. Weights is how you help build all of the bone structure. And again, no age limit to that. You can pick up weights and start at any time.
Okay. Um, what is the point of stretching and warming up? I see some people just like hit the gym and go, or just start running and, like what, and that's another thing about the Jazzercise program. It's very well thought out. I mean, you start with a warm up stretching and you finish with a stretching. But what is the point of stretching and warming up?
And you need to get the oxygen and the blood flow going all over in the body, everywhere. So warming up, starting with gentle, slower movements and everything, and putting some stretching, lubricate the joints, being able to get a fuller range of motion and everything. That is very important to stave off the injuries of, instead of just jumping right in. If you are a runner, it's best to just start as a slow jog and work up, get the body warm. That's the main thing, because everything, like a rubber band, if it's cold, you can't pull it too much, it's going to break. Have everything be warmer so that you can lengthen and stretch and stave off those injuries.
Okay, so if somebody gets injured, can they still exercise? Should they still exercise?
Depending on what your injury is and how severe and all of that, that takes a doctor to tell you, yes, movement is going to be good for you, or right now, no, that body part needs to, be stabilized and not move. As you mentioned, we did have, some ladies that I've jazzercised in a chair when have hurt the foot and everything, broken toe. You can't jump a whole lot, but you can sit in a chair and do the upper body parts and everything. So it just depends on what the injury is and how severe it was, on whether continuing the motion is good for it or not.
Okay. So my next question is, what do you see the benefit of group classes? And I told you I didn't exactly like group classes, but I do actually. I've grown up. Um, I see a lot of benefit actually of group exercise classes. And what do you see?
Main thing for me, and I think for most people, is the camaraderie, the motivation that you get by having other people in there doing with you.
Mhm.
And also it pushes you, makes you, not that you have to be competitive, but there's always that, oh, well, they're still going, I can still go. Um, and the instructor, I can't exercise on my own in front of, a workout video, because there's nobody there with me to, whoa, that isn't that fun. So the instructor gives you the motivation, the people in the room with you give you the motivation. So that's the group class gives you that whole, you're a part of something, you're all in this together, and you're cheering each other on and encouraging each other.
Yeah. We have a little video clip of a jazzercise class that I want to show you. And I think it's kind of important to see like different people exercising at different levels. So here we go. We're just a touch. We're not hurrying up. Yeah, that's how it is. And again, are you feeling it like that at home? And really, it's like I don't know where to look. The camera's actually lower, so you guys are taller.
Yes, we have all ages and all fitness levels that come to jazzercise, and everybody's doing what they're able to do.
And that's great. And people don't have to compare themselves to each other. They can just do it themselves. I mean, they can work at their own level.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the great benefits, and that should be, wherever you're doing and whatever you're doing, it's your own level. There are always going to be people that are going to be working harder than you, and instructors are going to be, pushing you for more. Pay attention and do what you can do, because everybody has, and some days you can work harder than you can on other days, depending on your mental state, how you feel, how you slept, did you eat breakfast? So even depending on the day, there's days you can work harder, and other days where you're not going to work so hard.
And I think that's an important part of like taking a body scan and say, well, how am I feeling today? Am I exhausted? What does my body need? Because a lot of people I find that sometimes people exercise too much, and then there's lots of people who don't exercise at all. And being able to find that sweet spot for that person, because when you're tired, you can actually activate more stress in your body, because your body doesn't know whether a lion's coming to eat you, whether you're exercising too much, whether you're eating something inflammatory. It just knows it's inflamed. And so, sometimes too much exercise can be counterproductive to a person.
Yeah, exactly. There's, rest days need to be in there too. And that's, as you said, tune in, do a check. Sometimes when we start class, we'll say, what is your intention today? What are you wanting to get out of your workout? So in regardless of what you're doing, you can always say that, what am I feeling today? Is it going to be a day I can push a little more, go a little further? Or is the day where I just need to, do my exercise and I'm not pushing today? We're just, gonna get through it.
Right. I certainly have those days.
Yeah, I think we all do, depending on how we slept. No.
Yeah, that and just stress levels and how hard we worked the day before. And yeah. So, again, you addressed it a little bit, Crystal, but what do you tell people about other options if they don't like group classes? And I think group classes keep you motivated, you have your camaraderie. And one thing about Jazzercise, it was always a warm environment, a welcoming environment. And that's kudos to you being the owner of the ones that I've been to some around the country, but mostly to yours. And it's always nice to feel welcomed and accepted, and people know you and things like that. So
yeah, that's a great part about with group classes and with Jazzercise especially is, you always feel weird going into anything new, regardless of what it is. Jazzercise is where, come on in, come join us and do this. And you can be that with, any program that you're doing. The main thing is to enjoy what you're doing, find different variety of exercise, and just each day say, I'm going to start. I'm going to, go walk. And, if after 10 minutes I'm just not feeling it, okay. But, you started it. And usually once you start, I always tell people the hardest part is putting the key in the car and getting to the location. After you come in the door, it's much easier.
Right.
The hardest part is it's getting started and doing it. And then after that, you see how much better you feel, how much better you look, your skin, your hair, your nails, everything. And then it's like, okay, this isn't so bad. I'm definitely going to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are options? And I think we did talk about if they don't like the group idea, they want to do it. What kind of things do you suggest?
You have a great picture there with tennis. If you can find one person, you can go play tennis. There's all the different things. You might need to try out some different stuff. You may think, oh, I'm not a ballroom dancer, but yet when you have someone who's teaching you how to do it, you might just find out wow, this is so much fun. I found my thing I like. Or, you can go to a gym and have someone show the equipment. There's a lot of people that are intimidated to go to a gym, but if you have someone help you and show you and you get the knowledge of what you're to do, then you have it and are able to do it. And at any kind of exercise class, again, you can do something at home if you want to find online programs, but there's many different forms of exercise and all different kinds of ways to be able to find it and try out different stuff. Like you said, you played sports, playing soccer, playing tennis, playing anything, rock climbing, swimming, kayaking, all of that stuff is exercise.
Yeah, and I think it's a great benefit living here in Georgia because we have temperate weather around the year round. So, it's easier for us to be outside than, well, I guess people who like snow skiing.
Yeah, depending on where you live, you can find what you want. Yeah, that's the main thing I like about Atlanta is being down here and be outside and go walking. And, there's beautiful trails and just so many trees and things like that to go. And when you're on a walk, you can really go more into connecting with your body and listening to sounds and seeing all the, different sights and everything. So again, walking and hiking, biking, stuff where you're outside, you have all those benefits of that great air too.
Yeah. So finally, I just want to talk about how do you keep somebody motivated? Because it's one thing to start, but how do we get people to stay motivated? So, as you said, the first one would be focus on activities that you enjoy. So, like you said, find a friend. That's another thing that's also I think is important. If you need somebody to help motivate you, is to have a friend. I know you're always saying, bring a friend.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way. That's how I went to class. I think that's how you said you went to class. Yep. A friend invited me. And that is true. And there, you can take it as far as, you make a date. Hey, I'm going to be at class at, 8:00 on Tuesday. I want to see you there. Take it that far. There's, and then check in with the people afterwards, if they miss class, let them know, hey, we missed you. We were expecting you to be there and we missed you. And it is having a person hold you accountable, whether that's your friend or someone that's in the class that you're going to see, or that's your instructor knowing that you missed when you're usually there. And the other part about staying motivated is, again, mixing it up. In jazzercise, we do all the different kinds of music so that you're not hearing all the time, the bang your head. But we got that kind of music. We have country music, so you have a little bit of everything. So it's not always going to be the same. And that's important for, again, your mental part and your physical and how to change how you're moving.
Right, and you also have, jazzercise has different formats. So there might be classes with all strength, building. There might be a combination. There's always a little bit of everything in there, but I think that's brilliant on
Yeah.
exercises.
Yeah. Jazzercise, yeah, they know what they're doing. We have kickboxing classes, which are, the total format. Everything is, about jabbing and punching and kicking. And that's, we always say, it's a way to get your aggression out for this class and everything. So we throw those in. We have classes that concentrate on the core, which is so important because that's connected to the rest of your body, keeps you, from having it falling down. It helps you with your balance and everything in all aspects, whether it's just leaning down to pick something up off the floor or whatever it would be. So we have classes that really, really concentrate on the core. As you said, we work it all the time, but core classes concentrate more. And there are then just the total strength where there's not, you do the warm up, you go right into working all the muscles. There's not all the, dancing and all the other things that go in. So again, mixing it up.
Yeah. So another tip is to be comfortable. So there are people who are morning exercisers and there's people who are night exercisers. I mean, that's important. And to know that about yourself, because if you hate getting up in the morning, why would you want to get up and go exercise? Self-sabotaging.
Yes, exactly. I am not a morning person. I'm awake, but I'm not very friendly to be around. Let's put it that way. I don't know. So yeah, I would rather work out later in the day, even into the evening. If there would be a 8 o'clock jazzercise class, that would be the one I would want to do because that's kind of when I wake up. But you do have to work out when you can. But yes, you need to be comfortable with your time. Don't force yourself into, oh, I'm going to do 5:30 every morning when you know you're not going to do 5:30 every morning.
Yeah.
Set a realistic example. And wear the right stuff when you're doing whatever you're doing, whether it's jazzercise or an aerobic class or lifting weights. You need to wear clothing that's going to allow you to move the way you need to. With biking, you might need those special shorts so that you don't get your rear end so sore. And you need the equipment for what it is you're going to do to be comfortable that way also. And make sure if you're outdoors, you've got your sunscreen, your hat, sunglasses, the things, so that you're prepared for what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, and I think too, buying the right exercise clothes that, and this sounds maybe a little shallow, but that you feel good in.
Yes.
You want to put them on and you want to look cute when you go exercise, regardless of your age or your size or whatever. Sometimes I buy something and the pants sort of droop down.
Yeah. We just had that experience with a brand of pants. I was like, okay, these are, I don't know what they're doing in the back, but they're not doing the right thing and I can't wear them to work out anymore.
I know. I mean, it makes a difference because I'm annoyed and I'm frustrated. It's not supposed to be that way.
Yeah. Or you're paying attention to what is happening with your clothes and not, doing your workout the right way. So it is important to be comfortable with what you're wearing. Yes.
Yeah. And another tip to stay motivated is to reward yourself. Now, hopefully this reward is not food.
Right. It could be a new outfit.
It could be a new outfit. It could be a hot bubble bath. It could be visiting a friend. It could be like sitting down and watching your favorite television show.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's being able to sit down and just enjoy a nice cup of coffee with, out on my deck, being quiet. There's all kinds of things. It's what is going to be a motivator for you. Yes, we try to not have it be food. Don't work out so hard and then go, oh, well, I deserve to have that. Change your focus to other things. There are other things that you can treat yourself with. Lunch with a friend. And, like you said, just calling a friend, visiting, especially nowadays, we're not so much into all the, get-togethers and everything, but call a friend, chat with them, read a book, take some time to enjoy something that you enjoy and know that that's what you have to look forward to, if you did your exercise. But I like the buy an outfit.
Me too. Another tip is to make exercise a social activity. And so whether you're exercising with your friends, say in jazzercise or in some other kind of class that you're doing, it can be with your kids. So I used to run and I used to have my kids on a bicycle with me because they're not going to keep up with me. So they're out having fun. I'm having fun. and it's a social thing. And then if you're sort of struggling with feeling alone, especially now, being able to be with somebody, it gives us a sense of belonging and that we're not alone.
Right. That's one of the things when we had to close the center because of the pandemic and we're not allowed to have classes. I would come in and would teach to a camera so that people could join online. Missing the physical people in the room was the hardest. It was crazy. And I think the customers that would say the same. The best thing was when you could finally, come back and we could see each other again. We're social people.
Did you feel like you were talking to yourself when you were doing those?
Yeah, it was crazy because, you just had the camera on the tripod and it was like, okay, do you, pretend there are people in the room or do you just, look right at the camera? You had to find that sweet spot and everything because you have to make the people on the other side of the camera feel like they're in the room with you and everything. But missing the people was the biggest thing for me. It was crazy how much I missed seeing the people and connecting with them and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you have any final thoughts, Crystal, on like exercise and helping our body, our mind, our soul?
I find something you enjoy doing and just start. There's always excuses that we can come up with, but it's the just saying also, I deserve this. I'm worth this. I need to be healthy. And once you start and you get going, you're going to realize all the benefits because you're going to start feeling all those benefits. And it comes in many ways, as you said, being a better person because you're just happier with yourself. And then everything else kind of comes with it. If your goal is weight loss, the exercise will definitely help with that. And building muscle is going to help with burning calories just naturally. So it is just starting and then continuing on through. Your body's made to move, go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think by paying into a membership, it kind of, at least me, I want to get my money's worth.
Right. Yeah.
And that's, whether it's a gym like LA Fitness or Jazzercise or one of these other things where you're making a commitment that I think helps people as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, I paid for this. I need to go do it.
Yeah. So, well, I just want to thank you, Crystal, for your time and helping people look at a bigger picture of what exercise can be. It doesn't have to be something awful. It doesn't have to be like running or something if that's not your thing.
Yeah. I'm not a runner. I don't run.
So, and if you're interested in checking out Jazzercise, you can go to the Jazzercise website. Now, here in Peachtree Corners, we've listed Crystal's franchise, but you can just go to jazzercise.com and put in your zip code and they'll give you the closest centers to you. So thank you. Next week, I just want to give you an update. The title is What's Mood Have to Do with Food? And I have Dr. Sansa Curtis coming on. So everything we put into our mouth affects our bodies and our brain. What food promotes health and wellness and which ones are harming us, often without even knowing? Can what we eat affect our anxiety and depression as well as our energy level? Find out what foods can do us good and which ones are bad, both emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And you can contact me on my Facebook page, my website, or my email. So thanks, everybody. Good night.
Yeah, good night. Bye-bye.